Wow, that was some game. And now the Saints move on to the Minnesota Vikings. Help me, Drew Brees. You're my only hope.
Packers are moving on. Aaron Rodgers has done it again.
Grassy Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom Grassi, and man, what a game. After we were just complaining about the Bills and Jaguars game, the Saints and Panthers tore the house down in a classic game. And what a thriller, the Saints winning 31-26, and will now go into Minnesota to face the Vikings. A hell of a game. A hell of a game. First half, it was very much like what we've been seeing this wildcard weekend. One team dominating, and that was the Saints. The Panthers, they marched down the field on their first drive. They missed their field goal. They dropped a touchdown. There was a lot of drops going on from the Panthers side of the ball. Ted Ginn, listen, Ted Ginn's one of those guys that he won't do anything for the majority of the games. But when he does actually catch a ball, that man is fast. 80-yard touchdown, giving the Saints the first lead of the game, 7-0. The Panthers put a field goal in the first 2 minutes of the second quarter, making it 7-3. Michael Thomas, good God, what a freaking athlete, man. Thomas on the day was 8 for 131 yards. Incredible. Ted Ginn, 4 for 115 with a touchdown. Obviously, the 80-yard touchdown definitely helped those stats out. Drew Brees finished 23 for 33, 376 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Interception didn't wind up doing anything, but holy crap, man. What a day by Michael Thomas. 2:47 left in the first half. Carolina kicked a field goal, making it 14-6. This was after the Hill touchdown from the Saints. Zach Line got in. Yeah, no one ever knows who Zach Line is, with a rushing touchdown with 43 seconds left in the half, and they were 21-6. So at this point, things looking pretty good. It's 21-9 because Gano kicked an amazing 58-yarder. He can't hit like a 30-yarder, but hit a 58-yarder. And so 21-9, the Saints are in control. They're looking like a Super Bowl caliber team. The Saints, for me, they're my Super Bowl pick, and that they're going to make it, because if they're able to make it past the Vikings and their defense, I think that they could definitely, if the Eagles somehow pull off a win against the Vikings, they could beat the Eagles, and I think they could beat the Falcons. And so that being said, I'm on the Saints, not on their bandwagon, because, listen, we're always going to be a Packers fan. But that's the team I'm like semi-rooting for in these playoffs. But Carolina came roaring back. They never gave up, but they kept on kicking field goals. 21-12, they couldn't get in the end zone. The one issue with the Saints today was with their running game, in which they didn't have any. They had a total of 46 yards with Mark Ingram and Kamara, who's been a monster. I think the Panthers defense is really good, but it's one of those things that if you put a whole bunch of people in the box and block the Saints from running the ball, they're going to burn you through the air, which is exactly what they did with the Panthers. I see something very similar happening next week against the Vikings. 57-yard field goal from Lutz, so making it 24-12. Then Olsen had a touchdown with 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter, making it 24-19. Cam Newton went down with about 9 minutes left, giving everybody a scare, but he came back. Kamara had a touchdown with 5 minutes left in the fourth. This just kept going back and forth. 31-19. Everybody thought the game was over. And I was praising the Saints defense because they're sacking Cam Newton. They had like 4 sacks. They hit him multiple times. They were constantly causing him fits. But good God, that Christian McCaffrey disgusting 56-yard pass. That was terrible defense. And with 4 minutes left in the game, it was 31-26. I was on the edge of my seat. Then there was that amazing back shoulder catch. That wasn't even a back shoulder. That was like over here, and Michael Thomas goes and grabs the ball by Drew Brees. They went 3rd and 2. They decide to run the ball. They get stuffed. They go for it on 4th, which really wasn't the end of the world because it got picked. So it wound up being a punt. They lost like 16 yards of field position. Clay got an amazing catch for the Panthers. Lattimore almost picked the ball as well. And then that intentional grounding absolutely killed any momentum by the Panthers. It went to 3rd and 23, then 4th and 23, finally ending with a sack. And so while, listen, Cam Newton had a hell of a day. Olsen had a hell of a day, went 8 for 107 with one touchdown. McCaffrey, 6 for 101, and that's just receiving with a touchdown. Man, I mean, it was a hell of a game. It really, really was. And so that being said, now you have the Saints going up against the Vikings, which I think is going to be the premier matchup next week. And so that being said, the way that it's either going to be the Saints or Vikings in the NFC Championship game with the Falcons, because I just don't see the Eagles able to pull it off. I would have loved to see an Eagles-Saints NFC Championship game with a healthy Carson Wentz, but I mean, I really do feel for Eagles fans here. But that being said, the Saints were my guys. Like, those were the ones that I thought had the best chance of beating Minnesota. And so that's going to be tested, because if Minnesota is able to win next week and go up against the Falcons, that's going to be a hell of an NFC Championship game as well. But I give the Vikings an edge there. So either way, a hell of a game, a great way to end the wild card weekend. What did you think of the game? Do you think that the Saints have a good chance of beating the Vikings next week? Please, 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 please let this happen, because I won't be able to take the Vikings going to the Super Bowl. I won't be able to. And I think they could beat the Falcons. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on the Twitters, Instagram, all that great, wonderful stuff. Check out Packcast, P-A-C-K-A-S-C, which is this podcast. We do multiple episodes per week during the regular season when the Packers play. We interview fans from the opposing team. So you can check that out. We're on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music. Woo! Great wild card ending. Not a great wildcard weekend, but a great ending. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.